Yes, people, you know what time it is. It's never a foul time. And today we're going to be talking on the Chelsea game, the Man United game, a little bit, hopefully more in context than last night. Well, how can you talk context when you got a gal on the panel? You know?
Bro, what are you talking about? I feel like Russell Westbrook right now.
Yeah, you are. Hits and misses. But yeah, no, but big up a gal. We'll make it contextual bullying. How about that?
Bro, no one's bullying me. What are you chatting about?
All right, that's what you think. And also big up Greasy. Daps as well will be here in about 10 minutes. The guy is fried. He couldn't believe that his team was 2-0 down and threw a strop. I'm joking. But yeah, big up Greasy. What you saying? You're on mute.
Yeah, I'm good. I can't complain. So yeah, seen a different Chelsea. I know it's only pre-season, but we'll chat about it.
He couldn't believe it. He had to mute himself. He couldn't believe that they won the game yesterday and they played well. So
listen, I can't believe I'm seeing patterns. Do you know what I mean? I've been starved for so long, man. But we're gonna talk about it anyway.
He's like, I couldn't believe it that Mudryk, Jackson, people played well, bro.
And if people haven't seen Haaland just come on and score a goal, you would understand how unfair this game is. The guy is 6'5" coming up against like 5'11" defenders, like, or 5'10". Like, what's the point? Just give up, right? Like, if you see the height difference is mental. Anyways, Man City are winning after 2-0 down. I don't know about the Tottenham score. Tottenham are currently playing.
No, it was delayed. I tried to put it on TV and it was delayed somehow.
Wait, who was City playing?
You're playing Leicester.
Oh,
it still is delayed.
It is delayed. Yeah, it hasn't started yet.
What's up with Spurs and delaying fixtures all of a sudden?
The whole club is delayed, bro.
Yeah, and then we got Aston Villa versus Newcastle, I believe, tonight. That should be a good game.
We have to talk about Aston Villa at some point.
They're saying the Spurs game's called off.
They've been serious, bro. The club is moving like a big club.
Aston Villa do this every year. They sign a bunch of players that everyone else is linked to. We think they're going to do something, and then you realize they had no plan for them. So
you're just bitter because of Emery. You're just bitter because of Emery,
bro. Forget about Emery.
Really bitter because of Emery.
These guys signed Kamara. I haven't heard of him. What happened to him?
Cancelled. Oh, he got cancelled. Oh,
fair enough. Got called off. That's what they're saying. The weather, apparently.
But imagine this though, yeah. I'm gonna do position for position. I think I said this to Daps, or was it you, Mo? I don't know who it was in person. Yeah, Martinez is better than Vicario. Their fullbacks, yeah, Alex Moreno and Cash are better than their fullbacks. Their centre backs, Diogo Carlos and now Pau Torres, are definitely better than their centre backs. They got a better DM in Kamara and Douglas Luiz currently. Their centre mids. Whether you want to put Madison, you could put my man up against it. What's his name again?
Jacob Ramsey, the wonder kid.
Ramsey. They got centre mids for days.
Don't forget they just bought Tielemans as well.
Better than their centre mids. Now the only thing I can't say is obviously the striker they got better is better than Watkins. But when you think of Bailey and or now Moussa Diaby, or there's another why am I saying there's another one in there that I'm missing against Son at this moment of time.
One Dia's there as well.
Kulusevski, you could say that's maybe a like for like, if not. There's more pace and more threat in Aston Villa's way of wanting to play, maybe. I'm just saying Aston Villa 11 looks extremely good right now.
Plus they've got a more proven manager as well.
I actually think that McGinn as well is so underrated with the running he does on the midfield, the amount of ground he covers.
That guy squats 300 kg or something like that, man, because, boy, you can't even get close to him. He's doing like what Hazard used to do, man.
When I was at the bridge when we played Villa and he scored that banger, that guy is a baller.
It's very strange how he plays football. Like, he's so effective. Like, it's unbelievable, this guy. And it doesn't matter who's at Villa, he always starts.
It's true. Emery's
because he's not a passenger. He's not a passenger. He's effective.
I rate Ollie Watkins.
Yeah. You wanted him, don't you remember? You wanted him at some point. Different type of striker. I was even going to say this, like Aston Villa have also got a bit of depth behind them. It's not like they've just got a bare 11, you know. They are building something sick, and I don't think this is where the spending ends either. It's just that, is it too much? They got Kamara, Douglas Luiz. Douglas Luiz is linked with with Tottenham and also Arsenal at this moment in time. Will he leave? I doubt it. They'll go get another DM. Their scouting seems to be, it's like they fixed up a little bit after Gerrard, you know? You know, a bunch of money and they found a manager that can make it all work. And then all of a sudden now it's all a gel. And Emery, remember at the start, Emery didn't lose a game for how long until Man United beat them?
It was quite a while, I think.
You're overgassing the Villa thing. They do this.
Nah, it's not a top 4 thing, but we're saying, you know, when a team looks like, I think Brighton might have a bit of a drop off potentially just because of the Europa League, and I know Conference League is just nowhere near the same as Europa. Like Europa, you can come up against AC Milan's and all this kind of stuff, yada yada yada. Conference League, you're coming up against, I don't know, Spartak Warsaw.
Their ceiling is if they win the Conference League.
I think they'll win it.
No, that's not their ceiling. Villa are ready to kick on. There's nothing stopping them from being backed again.
That's
like
the
next
ceiling,
season,
bro. Their ceiling is if they win the Conference League.
I mean, once they get back into Europa League, if they get there, if they win the conference, that's Emery's bread and butter. So what's stopping them from winning that and then getting into the Champions League? Do you know what I'm saying? So
I actually think
about Champions League.
Villa are forget.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not. If they win the Europa League, they'll get in the Champions. Emery's won the Europa League how many times?
They aren't in the Europa League. They are in the Conference League. If they win the
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If they win the Conference League, they'll be in the Europa, which means again, if they win that at some point, they can also play Champions League.
Hear me out. I actually think that Aston Villa as a club, forget about this season, next season, as a club, are moving towards going back to the old Aston Villa. You know what I mean? Like back to the Aston Villa, like the way they're moving, hiring Emery, signing players, battling for top players. I think the club wants to take Spurs' place, not financially, but in the Premier League. Like I think they want to go back. I think if they win the Conference League, I think that's
this is very reactionary and ridiculous.
Could be. You're right, Gal. You're very right.
Well, I'm not one to back Spurs, but really and truly, why are we saying Aston Villa is ready to do this when in actual reality we haven't seen them sustain anything? Like Aston Villa is always a team that yo-yos. They're another yo-yo team. I wouldn't be surprised if they were in a relegation battle next season.
But you said we haven't seen them yet, but you're the same fan base that was saying you're putting Rice over Casemiro.
No, because
even though we haven't seen it.
One second, we're talking about levels, different levels here. We're talking about teams like West Ham, Leicester. These guys were continuously in the top 4 and then dropped down to relegation battle. Leicester actually got relegated, so it's not out of the realm of possibility that these teams have a good season and then when they go into Europe they can't hack it and they struggle and you find them lower down the table. You're forgetting who they have
managing them,
bro. It does sometimes the manager can only do so much. It comes down to if the squad and the capabilities of that squad are able to do it throughout a calendar season. And I don't think we can now put them in the same conversation as even Chelsea or Tottenham. I think it's somewhat disrespectful.
No, I'm not doing that.
Wait, Chelsea. Why did you mention Chelsea?
You're putting them in the same conversation as Tottenham.
Hold on.
Chelsea and Tottenham are in the same situation.
You think Arsenal are better than Chelsea? So
I can't lie. I have to mute you because you're about to hit my quote. Like I can't do this right now. Yeah, sorry, Mo. I apologize. You got one mute left on me if I ever overtalk on you. Yeah, Agal, you've just got back into the Champions League after how long? You finished 8th twice and then 5th and then now 2nd. But Agal, you want to talk about being disrespectful, but the team's just done a treble, and you said.
Agal, let me ask you a quick question. How far behind Arsenal and Manchester United?
How far behind are Manchester United? Manchester United
from Arsenal, not City, just from Arsenal.
Bro, understand that if you're talking about Arsenal, you're talking about City also.
I knew you were going to say it.
Is that not exactly the same thing, Egal? Like, I'm not trying to mock you or nothing, but that's what you said.
I mean, in the realm of the title race, let's be honest. These guys were talking about in the realm of the competition where we're going to be in the Premier League, and they're saying, "Oh, how far are we from Arsenal in the Premier League?" And I'm saying, if you're going to say how far you are from Arsenal in the Premier League, I'm saying, ask yourself how far you are from City also, because Arsenal and City are supposed to be the 2 favorites to compete for the league next season. So if you're going to say
you can't have 2 favorites, you can only have 1 favorite.
Okay, so City are the favorite. We're supposed to be challenging. Manchester United are not even supposed to be in this conversation. So if you're saying, asking me how far are you from us, then I'm going to say how far
I actually have another opinion about this. I think actually Man United.
And I think I stand by that.
Anyway. No, I disagree with you completely. I think Man United signing Onana, Mason Mount is okay.
They should
You
be
selling
challenging for the
Xhaka,
league.
he's irreplaceable. I think at the moment Xhaka is irreplaceable. You didn't replace Xhaka, and it's gonna take time for you. I think Man United, if they get a striker, they finished single point between you and them last year, didn't they? 9 points or 8 points? Oh yeah, you're forgetting that, Igal. You're just forgetting that.
No, what are you talking about? Single point.
Single point difference between you and them, single digit points between you and them last year. And they are strengthening between you. They're strengthening, right? You got Declan Rice, you got Havertz, you got Timber. But I think Man United, if you are in the conversation with Man City, Man United are closer to you than you are close to Man City. That's what I believe next year.
I disagree, but hey, you know what? They played well yesterday.
And you remember, I don't want to turn this into Arsenal, right? But Man United as well. Everybody's saying Man United are out of the picture, but they are still spending money and trying to strengthen. Their main problem last year was De Gea. They fixed that. They just fixed it.
No,
and goals as well. They need a striker.
So that's my point. You remember, Don, I said in the beginning of my talk, I said, they fixed the goalkeeper. They
One second.
so
Manchester United should be in a title race then. Manchester United should be in a title race then.
I don't think if you are in a title race, if they sign a striker, why not?
I think the point that Mo's making is that you're not miles ahead of United. Like you're not. There's not a massive gap like between you and United.
That's a conversation for another day. I just want to swing it back round to the Aston Villa stuff, right? Because we talk about. I don't want it to be a Man United Arsenal. I want to talk about Chelsea straight away. Like I think there was so much going on in a Chelsea Brighton game to unfold. It's like if you guys haven't watched the extended highlights and only watched parts, you're gonna see how good like a Malagusto. I don't care if it's preseason. Malagusto is wicked, man. Chilwell is actually looking quite hungry, which I'm not really sold by it yet though. Levi Colwill, the way he sprays balls and all that, all that kind of stuff. Pause. But Aston Villa stuff. I hear what Agal says. He's got a point. Like they're just a yo-yo club, but sometimes there's a turning point, don't you think, Agal? Where like look at Brighton, all of a sudden, they're a strong seventh top. You could say top 9 club, top 10 club, or something like that. And we were gassing them up last year, but it's always that one club that you don't expect to do extremely well. And I feel like Aston Villa, like you cannot give them a little bit of prop for the way they are moving, like the way Arsenal moving. You could say, I'll put it to you, you're moving with Declan Rice. You got Tim, but that's moving like how big clubs should move, right? You're getting these good signings, right? Aston Villa, also, you look at the profile that they're going. They got attacking. They got very good fullbacks. You could say balance. Alex more attacking. Matty Cash more balance, I would say, but better attacking. You got Musa Diaby. When you think of hard workers, Jacob Ramsey, McGinn, Diaby's a hard worker. To be fair, if
even Buendia's a hard worker.
Watkins hard worker. Pau Torres, he knows him very well. Villarreal, Diogo Carlos, obviously not so much yet to see how good he would really be. I'm just saying, in the consensus of Aston Villa's squad, they have got what I like to have on FM is determination on 20. Because it Joe's better. Do you know what I'm saying a little bit? Just the profile?
Bro, I'm not making fun of the squad. I'm just merely saying the Premier League is a tough league to play in, and for a lot of these teams that have not played in Europe in a long time, it's going to be an adjustment. Unai Emery is a good manager. He's going to probably see what he can do, but competing in 2 competitions, there's going to be somewhere where they falter. Is it going to be in Europe or is it going to be in the Premier League? And I don't think they're going to be able to be competitive in both competitions.
Can I follow that with a question, please? I'm sorry, Kaz. Can I follow that with a question? Does that go the same way for Arsenal and Newcastle?
Guess what? Newcastle are strengthening their squad depth, and I think Arsenal have some of the best squad depth that we've had in a long time. So I don't think it's the same. I don't know what
Aston Villa are adding. Kaz just said they're adding depth. So the same.
I question how good their depth is in the first place. So I don't think
Musa Diaby,
I don't think
Carlos coming back. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You guys were after Diaby as well. You guys wanted him.
Yeah, as a backup. And you know what? Everyone wanted Leon Bailey too. He flopped. Everyone
not necessarily, Gal. Not necessarily.
He flopped. Coutinho went to Barcelona for how much money? He was irrelevant in the second half of last season.
He didn't even play though.
Let's not. Yeah, he doesn't play.
That's not Emery signing. That's not Emery signing though.
But I can have the same conversation.
I'm not gonna lie to you. We wanted
Arsenal.
We wanted Emi Buendia. He showed that he's not that good also. So I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Aston Villa are nailed on to win a competition or to do this, to do that. I personally think there's going to be a give and take somewhere, and that give and take might be in the league if they compete well in the Europe. And if they do well in the league, if they do well in the league, it might be that they've not been knocked out early in Europe. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they're just going to be able to walk it, because I think some of these teams that are getting promoted, like Burnley, might be surprise fixtures and be up in the top 10.
Luton.
That is a fair point, because the same thing you can say with the same thing with Brighton as well. Like, because they're in Europa now, we don't know how they're going to do in the league as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So, Miguel, you're not right. You're not right in that case. But I think the overarching point is that don't be too dismissive of Villa because of Villa by name. Villa by name.
I think Mo was being dismissive of Tottenham. And I'm not here trying to defend Tottenham, but that was disrespectful to say Aston Villa is going to finish above them easily, and they're going to potentially go and win a trophy.
Yeah, I wasn't comparing Villa with any of the other teams.
So the way I'm seeing it is I'm only basing that based on Emery, and I'm basing that based on them adding players. Right? And I'm looking at Newcastle and the trajectory that Newcastle did. Newcastle didn't sign superstars. If you want to consider Isaac a superstar, I don't. Isaac was not a superstar. Coming from Sociedad, he wasn't a superstar. Aston Villa are signing good players. Moussa Diaby is very good. Pau Torres, starter for the Spanish national team. That guy on the left, the left back that they signed halfway last year, is absolutely fantastic. I think Jacob Ramsey is developing to be a very, very good player. I'm just basing it on, I'm not predicting the future, but I'm looking at Spurs and I'm looking at Villa, and I see the curve, and I see Villa's curve going up like Newcastle when they were the bottom of the league and they finished in the top 10. And I'm looking at Spurs, and I see Spurs still at the moment. Harry Kane's situation isn't even resolved.
That's all it depends on, though, Mo. That's what I've been saying. I know it's a bit off topic from what we want to talk about at the moment. Daps is coming in the next 2 minutes. Don't worry. It all depends if Harry Kane stays or not. Because if Harry Kane does stay, then the gal's right. Like, it's a different story in it. Harry Kane's going to get you 25 goals. Maybe in an attacking setup, he might even get you 30 and maybe more.
1 second. Why is it when we talk about Chelsea, we always mention they play 1 game a week, but when we talk about Tottenham, we forget that they're only playing 1 game a week? No, you're talking about I'm never going to do this again. I don't back Tottenham, but the reality is it's somewhat disrespectful. Like,
you didn't hear me. I didn't talk about next. I'm sorry, guys.
What you said is you think Aston Villa can be above them based off of what they have.
No, I didn't. I didn't say that.
Mo didn't say that. He didn't say that.
I actually didn't. I said the way the club is moving is they're going back. They want to go back to the top again. It's not. It doesn't have to be next season, because I think Maddison and Harry Kane, and I said that on many shows, I think this can be a very, very good combination in the Premier League. Harry Kane and Maddison behind him, they're deadly, in my opinion, and I rate Maddison really highly. I said the club is moving towards going back to the top again. That doesn't mean winning the league, but going back to be top 6, top 7, top 8 club consistently, like what Spurs did being top 4. And I see the curve of Spurs, because Harry Kane has to end at some point, right? Harry Kane is not going to stay forever. It doesn't look like it.
Can I add a valuable point as well before anyone? The difference is with Chelsea, Chelsea's back four hasn't changed that much. And I think that's where it lies. It's not the defense, where when you look at Tottenham, their whole back four is changing. Their goalkeeper has changed. Chelsea's hasn't. And they've got abundance in quality as well. That doesn't mean they're going to work out. And I know 1 game a week. I've been very much pro Tottenham. Very much pro Tottenham. As the window goes on and I'm seeing signings here, left, right, and center, you have to say, like, some clubs are being a bit more ambitious. And if you are to take away Harry Kane, you are not getting them goals. You're not getting that. Don't matter who you get. Tottenham, we all know what they're going to get. Get Tap sober. Go get Mickey van der Ven. But again, you have to go with a new system, a new back four. Unai Emery is very known for a tight-knit defense, and he's still got pretty much the same defense, more or less, from last year, except for Pau Torres. Whereas Chelsea still got Thiago Silva. Levi Cole will slot in nicely. They still got Chilwell. Kukurea another year. Right back situation. Malagusto, new depth, but they still got Reece James. He should be coming back. And they still got Kepa. They all know each other and all that kind of stuff. That's all I'm trying to say. You have to build off a defense to go forward. That's the way I look at it. And where we look at Tottenham, their defense is absolutely arse and cheeks. And we have to say that. And we don't know what their goalkeeper can offer yet. We all know what Kepa's going to give. We all know what next goalkeepers are going to do and stuff like that. But you know what? Aston Villa's new defense, if they got Pau Torres and Diogo Carlos, it could be a new partnership that might not even work. So you're right, you're wrong. If buts or maybes, Daps is here. So now we can talk on Chelsea. Hi, Daps.
Hi. So now we can talk on Chelsea. Now that I'm here, we can talk on Chelsea.
Oh, I like when we talk about big clubs like Chelsea and stuff like that. It's better to have a difference of abundance of opinion rather than a few. And you probably didn't watch the Chelsea highlights or anything like that, which is fine. But you're gonna have a, you can add your value by opinion.
Nice to see you, Gal's nice and happy. Hi, Gal.
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
So
Good, mate.
So let's go to Chelsea. I didn't watch the game. I'm sure Greasy is the one that will tell us how the game went. All I saw is Mudryk. That goal he scored, this is the combination that you want to see up top, hitting current inside. Jackson looking like he's ready. This is the things like I think Chelsea combinations, I think Chelsea patterns of play, as Greasy told us. I think Pochettino might be cooking, might be having something different than what Chelsea saw last year, to be honest.
Listen, it's only pre-season, but I kept telling people during the season, you're going to see a completely new Chelsea. We've got a new proper coach now and players that actually fit the system that we're trying to play. So just to talk about yesterday's game, I thought we played quite well. It was kind of a continuation of like how we played against Wrexham. Do you know what I mean? Like Mo, you said with the patterns of play there, individual performances again. You've got Jackson, who his link-up play just looks so refined, man. He looks like someone that we can actually play off of, and at the same time, he offers that creativity as well. The guy's got 4 assists in 2 games already. I know it's only pre-season, but it's an indication of what's to come of him as a player. And so far, I've been quite impressed with what I've seen of him. Do you know what I mean? Mudryk, after the game, he said it already. Like he's liking the little link up between him and Jackson already. They haven't been playing long, but I can already see there that there might be a bit of a link up between those two. Malagusto, like Kaz said as well. Apart from the goal that we conceded when Welbeck scored, he switched off a little bit when Mitoma got his head on it. But apart from that, he had Mitoma the whole game. Like I don't remember Mitoma skipping past him and doing much against him, to be honest. He played very well. Andre Santos, another one as well. He was playing as the deepest man, just dictating play. When he came off, you actually realized that we were being cut through quite a bit in midfield. Obviously, Caicedo is going to be when we get him in, is going to be the main person starting. But Santos, I think he's ready to come into the squad, to be honest, as a bit of an.
What about Nkunku? Do you think Nkunku? He played as a number 9 based on the highlights I watched. He played as the highest guy on the pitch. Do you still think that Nkunku will drop to be the number 10, like what?
Yeah, no, he will. He will. I think we haven't seen Nkunku and Jackson play together yet. I think it will be the other way around. So Nkunku will play the 10, and then Jackson will play it as the 9, and that's going to be dangerous, man. Because Nkunku, you can already see like on the ball, very technically sound, very comfortable in the ball. Again, that instinct to finish the chance in that box to get the goal that he scored.
Little flick.
The little flick. Not everyone has that in their locker. It might look simple in the eye, but to be instinctive, that's what you call an instinctive finish. Do you get it? So little things like that, man. It's looking good. Levi, obviously, apart from the poor tackles, give away the penalty, he was very good. There was one ball that he played across to Chilwell, who looked again up and down. I don't even know. Cass, what did you think of that ball that Colwell played, man?
I don't understand how you hit a ball with such velocity and it slowed down and did you watch it, Gal? You might have seen it as well.
Perfect. Right? It was perfect. Like if you're talking about perfect ball, it was a perfect ball.
I don't understand. All right, all I can liken this to is Paul Scholes type pass. And I'm not trying to overrate it. It's like a Paul Scholes Perlo type pass. If you ain't watched it, I know there's a super chat beforehand as well, before Chelsea one. Don't worry, I ain't forgot about yours. I'm just trying to wait for the little segments. Yeah, it was like that. It was stupid. I thought that was going to go off the pitch, but it slowed down so much.
It's so mad. Like he fizzes the ball in the air. Like he fizzes it so hard in the air, but it still manages to fall to the space that he's trying to hit it into. Did you get it? So again, passing out from the back, amazing. Again, Santos really good. Angelo Gabriel, man. Angelo Gabriel. This guy is showing up Sterling, Raheem Sterling, an experienced pro. Both games that he's come on, he's been showing him up. Like when I say this guy, you can clearly see that he's been playing men's football in Brazil. I know it's only Santos, but look at what's his name, Alvarez at Man City. This guy came straight from a different league and he's been able to sort of go straight in with with that quality. So same thing with Angelo Gabriel. He's really impressed me, man. Technically, he looks like he can dribble at pace. He looks like he's able to sort of link off and bounce off other players at pace as well. I would probably say like the player that didn't impress me yesterday was probably Sterling. Like he just didn't look at it. Do you know what I mean? In possession, he kept losing the ball. There was a few good bits here and there, but other than that, listen, Angelo Gabriel, so far, he's looked better than Sterling on the ball and off the ball as well. So he's another one that I'm keeping a close eye on. I'm praying that we keep him, to be honest, because he looks really good, man. But yeah, Jackson, listen, 35 million euros. I think we've got to steal with this guy, because the amount of money that we're looking at for strikers these days, and we've managed to get him for 35 million. You know, he looks like he can create and score. So, you know, he topped off that assist, 2 assists with a goal as well. We've been starved of a striker who could just put their foot through the ball. Do you know what I mean? We had Havertz that was clearly running through on goal, always trying to lob the keeper. I don't know what type of little chip pass he used to try. Now we've actually got an attacker that can just put his foot through it and get it in the back of the net. So listen, so far so good. I know it's only pre-season, but the patterns and the play that I'm seeing has really impressed me, man.
Donna, I have a question for you regarding the back four. Since Fofana's injured, we don't know the extent of his injury. I don't think personally that Thiago Silva can play in the back four as one of the two, just because of the age and the speed and all the stuff. He's going to play on predictability. Who do you think is going to be the right centre back for you, especially if Badiashile is still injured?
Good question. To be honest with you, I don't know if we're going to go into the market. I still think it's going to be Silva, like at the start of the season. So I think against Liverpool, you'll probably see Cole and Silva like you did yesterday. Chalobah, obviously he's there, but again, he's another one that long term I don't really want to see in a back four. I rate him as a squad player, but I prefer him playing as a right centre back in a back three. In a back four over a long period of time, I don't have that 100% trust in him. So I think you're going to probably see Silva starting at right centre back, to be honest with you, unless we go into the market.
Are you comfortable with that? Are you comfortable with that at all?
I don't like Silva in a back four, to be honest with you. But if we're not going to go into the market, I'm just going off of what I think Poch will do. I don't think he'll start Chalobah, in all honesty, and Badiashile won't be fit by then anyway to even come in. So you're probably looking at Silva if we don't go into the market. I don't think
Silva and Kepa behind him isn't confident.
How did you feel about the game before the red card? Did you feel like the red card changed the game a lot, or were you like really confident you guys were playing well before the red card?
Yeah, no, we were playing well before the red card. And to be honest, when they got a red card, to be honest, I didn't really notice it because Brighton was still playing quite well. Like I said, Santos came off the pitch and they were just playing through our midfield. Do you know what I mean? You can still see that there's quite a few holes to plug. We've got a lot of midfielders that are attacking. We haven't really got a lot that can hold. Enzo played that holding role when Santos came off. And again, you can see that he's not a 6. Do you know what I mean? He's not a holding 6. So, we played good. We played very well, man. Like it's refreshing to see a style of play. You know, players that look really hungry. And again, the players that didn't look at it were the players that have been here already, like i.e. Sterling.
Let me, Tad Bake says, big up the panel. Love sticking it to Arsenal twice yesterday. Pause. Paying 65 million for Shai Havertz and asking him to play the 8 is prime banter settings. Big up that. And then Chelsea Niak as well says, I am cautiously optimistic, but the style of play is so refreshing. Cassidy and Santos are young, but so talented. Can't wait to see Jackson and Nkunku together. Bring me Caicedo and Diogo, and we can cook. Diogo Costa.
I think he's talking about the keeper, Diego Costa.
Yeah, talking about the keeper. Diogo Costa.
So listen, for me, I really like Angelo Gabriel, man. I think this guy's ready. Like again, you just know a player when you see one. Like physically, he's got the appearances playing men's football. But if we're linked to Kudus now, innit? We're gonna get Kudus in, so I reckon we're probably gonna loan out Angelo Gabriel. But he's really, really impressed me, man. I can't lie.
You know what this sounds like, Cal? Do you remember last year when you lot would say, yeah, Marquinhos should be in the first team set up there, but again, he shouldn't get too gassed? Don't you think Chelsea are going in the same trajectory as kind of like?
Not really, because I can tell you players that I've seen that I don't think are ready. I can tell you players that I've seen that I don't think are ready. For example, Moreira.
I'm just saying, Chelsea fans, you just need to say the magic words: trust the process.
He's 18 years old. He has a lot of potential. So I'm not going to just compare him to Marquinhos, because I don't think Marquinhos is good enough to play at the Premier League level at this moment in time.
How many senior appearances did Marquinhos have before joining Arsenal?
Bro, I'm not even making that comparison. There's no need to have that conversation. When it comes,
I'm just asking because obviously Cass made a point to say that you guys were getting gas with Marquinhos, but I'm asking how many appearances did he have for men's football before he actually joined Arsenal?
Don't worry, I can find out right now.
I don't remember. All I know is we signed him from Brazil. I didn't know much about him, and right now that he's playing at Arsenal, we still haven't learned much about him. He's still the same guy that the very unknown young potential player, but it's like I don't see that potential to say that he's ever going to really be at a starter level at Arsenal. It's more or less somebody.
You see that potential in Havertz?
The thing is, Havertz always had that potential, man. Let's not act like Havertz at Leverkusen didn't have crazy potential. Even at Chelsea,
he came to you from Chelsea, though.
Even at Chelsea, he showed at times that he was really good. It's just in stints. He didn't show consistency throughout his whole career at Chelsea. So I don't know why we keep going back to Arsenal. I'm trying to keep it on Chelsea.
So yeah, we're not. But guys,
I've just come on the show.
1,000. There's about 1,000 of you here, guys. This is very good, but we need the likes to go up. We're only on 200 likes, so come on. The like button look like this. It doesn't cost you a penny. Underneath the live chat, just close your live chat, hit that like button. At least get us to 500. It helps the channel massively move to the next person and the growth of the channel. So please hit it. It's free.
Yeah, I think for me, like I said, when I saw Angelo Gabriel's first game against Wrexham, I said, listen, it's only Wrexham. He impressed me, but let me see what he does against a Premier League opposition. Again, against Brighton, played very well against a Premier League opposition. We've got a few more Premier League clubs to play, so I'm going to keep a close eye on him. But as it stands, I'm leaning more towards keeping him than actually, getting rid. Because Sterling, again, both games he played against Wrexham, he didn't look that good. Do you know what I mean? And he's a Premier League player. Against Brighton yesterday, he didn't look that good, and Angelo Gabriel looks completely different to him. So for me, one thing I look at when I'm looking at wingers, especially in the Prem now, is how physical are you, and are you able to beat your man? Do you know what I mean? And technically, are you comfortable in possession? And that's one thing that I can tick off with Angelo Gabriel. I can see those attributes already. So I don't see it being a problem to bring that into the Prem if we are going to keep him.
Yeah, I was just gonna say as well along the lines of you can subscribe to a gal. It's in the pinned. So make sure you go subscribe to a gal. Again, it's in the pinned. It's in the top of your chat. 42 senior appearances he had.
Marquinhos.
I've just counted it up.
What before he joined Arsenal? Before he joined Arsenal, yeah.
He played in the Paulistão Premier, whatever it's called, the Copa de Brazils, the Serie A, the actual league itself. The
what club was he at?
I have no idea. He was at. I think it was
Angelo Gabriel was at Santos. Let's not.
He was at Sao Paulo.
Okay.
And then also he went to Norwich last season on loan. Is it crazy to say that Sterling had declined? I was going to say this. I was going to move to Daps since Daps hasn't got involved too much in the talking. Do you reckon? Sterling's on decline? Do you reckon this could be a make or break season for his career as well?
Yeah, 100%. Especially if last season is because they didn't play with the striker. So I said when they bought Sterling, I don't understand why you're buying Sterling if you're not going to play with the striker, because like no need to speak on it. You know Sterling's numbers when he was playing alongside Aguero, and then you know Sterling's numbers the minute Aguero stopped playing for City and we were playing with a false nine. Like his numbers, goals and assists dropped drastically. I think with a striker and under Poch, he could come back because Sterling is 100% a confidence player. That is it. If his confidence isn't there, he doesn't cook. Once he gets going, momentum, that's where Sterling can thrive. But he has to start the season well, otherwise, yeah, he's completely in decline.
That's you know what it is for me. Do you know what it is for me with Sterling? Yeah, like one thing that I said when we signed him last summer is if we don't build around him and actually bring some creativity around him, it's not going to work. Because if you're expecting Sterling to be like your Hazard type player, to get the ball and just beat a man and be that player to, be like a driving force, he's not that. Do you know what I mean? You want Sterling at the end of things in the box or to be able to create for the striker. That's going to be in the box as well. But one thing that's concerning, right, is we all know that Sterling technically isn't the best. And what I'm seeing now is that the new players that we've got in this squad technically are very, very comfortable on the ball. Sterling looks far from it when it comes to his ability on the ball. Do you get it? Like very, very sloppy. He'll be driving at a player, and then the decision making again has been poor. Like one thing I'll say, Jackson, his decision making has been really good, man. Angelo Gabriel, same sort of thing, really good decision making. These are basics of the game, and Sterling seems to be struggling with that. So I don't know. Like obviously, I'm not writing him off because again, it is pre-season. But going forward, in terms of this system that we're playing right now, I don't know for Sterling, because just on the ball, he just doesn't look as comfortable as the others that I've been seeing so far.
The one thing I'd say with Sterling is, right, so I always used to say, so one of Sterling's biggest qualities is his ability to listen to a manager, right, and his work ethic. At City, that was it. He listened to Pep, and like you'd see him training. Remember them videos where it would show Pep explaining things to Sterling, then Sterling literally doing exactly what Pep told him in games, and he worked hard to try and adapt and fit to what Pep wanted. And I do think with Poch that could happen because Sterling will be someone he's going to listen to Poch, but I think it's just whether it's like, how old is he now? Must be 30 now.
28. He's 28.
Is he only 28 still?
29, I think.
Yeah, so
nearly 30.
Yeah.
28.
but it's just whether ultimately whether he gets the confidence back. And if you've got another player that can play in that position and hits the ground running, then unfortunately it's just that can't
exactly. That's what it is with Sterling. Sterling, what it is right now, as an experienced player who has over 100 Premier League goals in this league, right? He needs to hit the ground running. We haven't got time to get it. We haven't got time for any more passengers. So if he does not hit the ground running, and again, there's a player behind him, let's say we keep Gabriel for the season, or we're bringing a Kudus who can play on the right. Again, you've got Mudryk there as well. Then it's looking long for Sterling. He might find himself on the bench really soon. And then before you know it, he's out of the club. So that's what I'm saying with him. I think he's going to have a big part to play.
So is Gabriel staying now?
He's going to have to.
I have a genuine question.
We don't know yet.
I have a genuine question about Sterling. Do we think Sterling it was just thriving because of Pep's system, and Pep knows exactly what?
Nah. He was doing well at Liverpool as well. You can't do that because he was very good at Liverpool.
So Chelsea paid for the numbers. Like Sterling used to hit double-digit goals under Pep. Before that, he was like a 6-goal a season, 7-goal a season, and even his worst season at Chelsea at Manchester City, he still scored 10 goals, in my opinion, and he was even out of favor at that season. I don't think any manager can get that number out of Sterling other than Pep Guardiola, to be honest. I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, no, the thing is with Sterling, he's not rubbed, like he's not finished. We can still get something out of him. And one thing that I've always said with him is add quality around him. Do you get it? Sterling needs to be in a team that already has a structure and a style of play. Add quality around him. Now he's going to have quality around him. I've got no excuses for him. I'm one of the guys that love Sterling. Like, for me, Sterling, he became world class when he basically won City the league. I can't remember what season that was. That's when I think it was the Centurion season. He was your best player, I believe, that season. When was it the Centurion season? One of the seasons Sterling was bagging basically every single week. And for me, Sterling gets disrespected too much. I think he's one of the greats of the Prem, in all honesty. But I've got no excuses for him if there's going to be going forward, because there is going to be quality around him. See, even your faces, you lot are saying that. I think he's one of the best wingers we've seen in the league, bro. He is.
Look, because he played for Pep Guardiola. Because he played for Pep Guardiola.
Nah, he's
not.
I'm not on that list.
You know, he is for me.
Can I just say?
For me, he's one of the best attackers we've seen in this league, bro. He's literally the third. He scored the third amount of goals that Pep's managed in terms of the attackers. Yeah. So it's Messi. Messi's first, then Aguero, and then it's Sterling, bro. Like, and this guy's managed. He's managed.
When you say one of the greats, that's just a like I don't even have him in my top 10. Can't lie.
Yeah.
So,
do you know what?
I think he is. I think he is.
Nah,
I think he is.
Let me ask you a question.
I would just say is it only because of right? Now that you've got to give him the credit because it's him that did it, right? To say it's only because of Pep. No, he did it. It was him. Like I said, it was him that you got to remember when Pep joined Manchester City. Raheem Sterling had just had a bad Euros for England. The season before under Pellegrini, he'd completely dropped off because it was all tick-a-tack of football and it wasn't Sterling's style of play. Sterling listened to Pep, worked his balls off, right? And did that. You can't discredit him for that. Now, you do have to play to his advantages, though, that you need runners. If you do not have runners, Sterling doesn't thrive by being a runner. Sterling thrives by there being runners and him finding space, right? There's this myth that you give Sterling space to run into and he cooks. That's not true. Sterling is amazing at finding pockets of space, but you have to have multiple threats and he will see, right, this defender's going there with this player. He's going there. I'll do something different and drop back and find a pocket of space. Now, I think with Chelsea now they have a number 9 with potential, with like Cucurella, if it's Cucurella playing on the left, Chilwell on the left, or whoever's playing on your right, as long as you've got runners and then you've got players like, who's the guy you've just bought up
Jackson.
Mm.
top? No. Kunku. you could see that Sterling could work, but it's just. I do think he hasn't got momentum at the moment. He's not going into this season with momentum, and that's going to be an issue for him. I think the top 10. Are you saying top 10 players in the Premier League?
No, not all positions. I'm talking about
wingers.
I'm talking about wingers, bro. I'm talking about wingers.
I think you have to because of his output and what he won.
Let's be real. He might not be good on the eye in terms of technically all the skills and that, but the guy is effective. The guy was effective for Liverpool. The guy was effective at City for years. The guy was putting up serious numbers in various systems at Man City with various players. Let's not disrespect this man. For England as well, when it comes to the major tournaments, he's always our best player. Yeah. Come on, man. This guy's top 10 wingers in the Prem history.
Okay, now you lost me at top 10 wingers.
Let me just say this. He's not better than Mo.
What do you think?
He's not better than Mo Salah. For a fact, we know that. He's not better than Cristiano Ronaldo. So that's two right there. He's not better than Ryan Giggs. That's another one right there. You can see Robert Perez. He's not better than him. You can say
Thank you, Cass.
Who did you say?
Robert Perez.
Okay.
Mahrez. If you want to say
Mahrez, I can definitely put an argument over Mahrez.
Bro, I'll let you speak. Let me finish, and then you can go. David Beckham. Are we saying he's better than David Beckham? Are we saying that
I'm not saying Beckham's a winger, to be fair.
Yeah.
Are we saying he's better than Sadio Mane?
No.
Are we saying that would you even say he's better than Son? Just asking.
He's been more effective in the Premier League.
Yeah, because hold on. Son, because Son's numbers.
I forgot a Chelsea legend. Is he better than Eden Hazard?
Not better than
No.
So then we can finish off with Gareth Bale. Is he better than Gareth Bale?
No.
Nope.
I've named over 12 players.
Anyway, we get Don's point. He rates Sterling. He thinks that Chelsea can get an output out of Sterling. But I want to move on from Sterling to the other winger that played yesterday.
No, but I've got another question.
Go on, Cass. Yeah, you've been waiting.
Sterling has been playing at the top of an elite game for about 11 years, since about 18, 19 years old. Liverpool, Brendan Rodgers style was not exactly, it was fluid, it was great and all that. But he came playing loads of games young. Has anyone thought that he's gone past his peak? Like Wayne Rooney did. When you come in young, when you're 16, 17, 18, this is why Foden didn't come into the fold straight away. This is why young players don't come into the fold straight away, because when they hit a certain bracket, typically, not all the time, typically they burn out quick. Unless you're Ronaldo, you're a different story. Sterling doesn't give me Ronaldo training vibes, looking after your body all the time. That's different mentality there. People might think that he might be actually on decline because he's been playing at the peak game for so long.
This is what I'm saying. This is the season for him to prove himself that he's not on this massive decline that everyone thinks that he's on. You get it? Like one thing he said he changed his diet because last season he actually got a few hamstring injuries and it was holding him back a bit. Now he's feeling a lot sharper, feeling a lot lighter. That should help him in the season coming. But like I said, the two games that I've seen so far, he as one of the senior pros, I've not been impressed. Again, I've got no excuses for Sterling this season as long as we plug the holes. Because for me, it's always been a quality thing around him. Now he's going to have quality, so he's going to have to perform. He's going to have to perform.
If you're saying Gabriel is this good and you're bringing in Mohamed Kudus, Mudryk, Jackson, and either Kudus or Gabriel would start. Does Sterling start in your best 11? I don't think he does next season.
Again, this we have to see how the rest of preseason goes. We have to see how the games go as well. It won't take long for Poch to make changes, in my opinion. Do you get what I'm saying? If Sterling does start games and he's not performing, there's going to be someone else that comes in for it.
But you're not answering. Do you agree with me that he wouldn't start in your best 11 right now?
Yeah, no, he wouldn't start in my 11 right now. No, I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't start Sterling. No,
so then I think what do you call it? Fatur's right. He has declined slightly from his time at Man City, but you can put it to the squad and how they play, and also his own performances dipping.
Yeah.
What was you going to say anyways, Mo? Quick.
No, I was going to shift to the other winger, to Mudryk. Is this the season now he provides something to Chelsea? Is this the season when he makes that left side his? I saw glimpses yesterday. To be honest, when I watched the highlight, I saw glimpses. He runs, he beats his man, combinations, 1-2s. I saw glimpses of him.
Rapid, bro.
Rapid,
bro. You know what I'm saying?
He's the quickest player in the Premier.
Talk to me, Don. Talk to me about Mudryk. What do you expect?
Yeah. Do you know what, Mudryk? He actually he played for the under-21s Ukraine in the Euros. He decided to turn up to play for them. Obviously to get his confidence up a little bit. And just for like match fitness, because during the season, again, stop start, some games he's not in the squad. You know, some games he's getting 5 minutes. Some games against Leicester, I'm seeing this guy playing up top. So again, he was mismanaged. But, you know, I was at his debut at Anfield and I saw a player. Do you know what I'm saying? I was saying, nah, this guy looks really good. I was seeing things in glimpses. He looks really good. I know it's up against James Milner, but I'm not going to take that away from him. You can only play what's in front of you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
he's got, I'm not joking. See why athletic wingers, they have got pending hammy injuries coming their way. I'm telling you now.
Nah, don't wish that on us, man. Don't bring that bad energy here, man. Don't bring that bad energy. Hey, Mo, let me.
Darren Anderton.
Let me put my guy up, man. Let me put my guy up.
There's so many cases. If you're a white athletic winger, Pulisic, you can go towards not Mudryk. Bro, what's his name? Bro, bury that Pulisic. You can go if you really want to go.
Nah. Hey, listen, we're not doing that. We're not talking about injuries right now.
All of these men are athletic, bro.
Nah. Listen,
guy had one good half. One good half, and Cass is talking about injury for the
injuries. Yeah. Listen, we're not talking about. We're not gonna bring that energy here. Yeah, not yet. Anyway. But Mo, as I was saying with Mudryk, like you said yesterday, you were seeing glimpses, but I was seeing glimpses during last season. But again, he was widely mismanaged by the managers that we had. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So with me, Mudryk going forward, it's not a mistake that Arsenal wanted him. It's not a mistake that Mikel Arteta saw something in him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So for me, I think he's in the right hands now. You've got a manager who's got a proven record in the Premier League of developing young talent. I'm sure everyone can see that he's very raw, but he does have ability. That's one thing. So one thing that he's going to have to do is refine his game. But one thing I'll say about young players, they don't develop unless you're playing them. And I expect Mudryk to be getting played a lot next season. I need to see him putting up, helping with numbers. We can't be dependent on just Jackson to get the goals. He's got to start chipping in as well. So for me, Mudryk, I think he's only going to get better. People that are writing him off last season are crazy because look at the environment that he walked into. Do you know what I'm saying? 35 players. Again, like I said, at Leicester, I saw this guy playing up top. He started up top. Havertz played on the right wing, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So Mudryk, for me, going forward, the ability is there. And we've got the manager to actually help him develop. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does, man. Because that goal yesterday, very good goal, man. Very good goal.
1,200 people here, guys. Can you get us at least to 500 likes, guys? Come on, 1,200. The like button is free.
I think you might have to show them where it is. But as you do that, I'm gonna say, can we talk about Gusto had right winger job? We literally did. We did. We spoke about that. What? About 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, we said that earlier. Yeah, he had Mitoma in his pocket, man.
Yeah.
But unpopular opinion: Gusto might play more games at right back than Reece James.
That's not unpopular. I agree with you,
guys. The like button. If you have your chat right there, sorry, this is an ad. If you have your chat right there, there is a X right here, and then you click the X and the like button. It looks like this. You can see here. Hit that like button, guys.
I've noticed a few people have started to say this about Gusto. For me, as long as Reece James stays fit, he's our number one. Do you get it? Let's not forget that at his best, this guy is England's number one right back, and on top of that, he was playing at a world class level. Let's not.
Is he England's number one right back, or is that Trippier?
No, he was. He was.
No.
It's only because of injury.
No. Injury. If Reece James is fit, Reece James is England's number one.
I don't know.
Yes,
that's fine.
I don't know.
So wait. So do you think that
favorites?
Wait, hold on. So you think that Trippier is better than Reece James at his best?
Last season he was, and
we're not talking about last season, bro. That's not the conversation that we're having. I said Reece James.
The conversation is, would he start for England? And the reality
is, no. Igal. The exact conversation was when he is fit, he's England's
when
best.
He is fit,
well, he
and Trippier is fit. Guess what? He's picked Trippier over him, and he's
but Igal, are we doing? All right. So in that case, are we doing?
But Maguire was picked for the England squad.
One second.
Reece James was starting for England.
I'm merely pointing out the fact that just because he might be considered the best right back doesn't necessarily mean he's going to always be starting for England. We know that Southgate.
He was literally starting for England.
But sorry, guys. Irrelevant to that. Irrelevant to that. It was. He's England's best, not he's Gareth Southgate's best. He
said he would start for England.
England's best.
And I'm just merely pointing. 1 second.
Okay, guys, we're gonna move on. We have to move on, guys. We have to move on. Now let's talk about the game yesterday. This game reminds me of Arsenal beating Chelsea 4-0. I know we talked about it yesterday, but we have Greasy here and we have Igal. And forget the banter and everything. What I saw yesterday is that Mikel Arteta is still trying to fill that Xhaka role. What I said in the beginning is irreplaceable. I was talking to Daps yesterday about it, and I said, if they play Rice, Partey, Odegaard, it's kind of too defensive. And if they play Rice, Havertz, Odegaard, it's too offensive, and there is nobody to block the opposition in transition. That's what I saw yesterday. I'm not going to turn this into a Havertz thing, but I think you have not replaced Xhaka with a box-to-box 8 that can score goals. Someone like a Gundogan. That's what I mean. Someone like that.
Right.
I'm not comparing Xhaka to Gundogan, but the season that Xhaka had last year is a phenomenal season for a midfielder.
Mo, last night, and this is the thing. Last night, Rice played in the 6th role, right?
Yeah.
Right. Arsenal have Partey. They're keeping Partey. So for me, look, we don't know yet, but the obvious one is okay. So Rice is the Xhaka replacement. I mean, he might not be, but if you look at it, you have to go back to Arsenal's best 11. Igal, who's your best 3 midfielders?
Partey, Rice, and Odegaard.
I agree.
It's that simple.
So do you think Rice is an upgrade? So simple question. You challenged for the league last year. Xhaka was an integral part in that team. Do you think Rice can actually do the Xhaka role? Scoring goals, and defense, and everything. It's a genuine question, Igal.
I think you're looking at it the wrong way. It's not about if Rice can do the Xhaka role. Is if it's more or less if Mikel Arteta can figure out a midfield that can work with the players that we have now to our disposal. Because he had to figure it out with Xhaka. It wasn't like Xhaka was perfect for the position that he was playing him in. He realized that he had to play Xhaka in a certain way, and managers have to adapt. Even the greatest managers in the league have to find ways to manage with the squad that they have to their disposal, because things change from year in, year out. They went from having attacking left backs the year prior to having more of a defensive team that had their midfielders pushing more higher up instead of their left backs and right backs in Man City. So Mikel Arteta will need to tweak his system, and I do believe he has the tactical nous to figure that out. But I don't think it's as cut and dry as saying, oh, Kai Havertz can't do it in the midfield, Rice can't be a 6, Partey has to start every game. Really and truly, it's going to be horses for courses depending on the game and the team that we play. And we cannot go and overanalyze this game and say, oh, Rice can't play as a 6. Kai Havertz can't be a midfielder. Odegaard is left by himself. We're going to start talking about Ramsdale being terrible or Gabriel being terrible. The overreaction.
No, we're coming to that. We're not there yet.
But I get that. But I'm pointing out the overreactions are ridiculous.
You know what the best thing about Rice is, yeah? I'm going to have to admit to this. Rice, I don't think it's too defensive. I think I like it when he got a bit of space to drive in on the left. I see it plenty of times for West Ham. He's not just the goal that he scored. Go watch it for West Ham. He's never straight down the middle drives. He's always down the left.
You didn't answer the question? Yeah. What?
No, don't worry. You kind of did just in.
Don't worry about the chat. Just focus on what you have. Just on your lane.
I can't lie. It's way on and here. I think with Rice, the perfect part is if Partey is to get injured, you don't even have to play him in the 6. In a way, you can just double pivot with Jorginho and make it work like that. Now you got cover, or put Jorginho in the 8 and just work out a little bit differently and put Rice as the defensive anchor 6. That's the way I look at it. Is that Rice is the perfect. I don't think it's a downgrade on it. I just think having Havertz personally in A is smelly. It's going to continue to be smelly. And guess what? You're getting bossed by an 18-year-old kid. And it's not just that one game. Bro, Emil Smith Rowe. I saw more from Emil Smith Rowe, right? He looked so comfortable in the Xhaka. Let's call it the Xhaka role, right? So comfortable there. The guy's a unit. He's filled out. He's hungry, and you can see even after yesterday, I think he missed a head, and he was hungry. Just for that header alone goes to show he wants that place. Like, you know, he went for a header. You lot might not have seen it, but he nearly scored, and he was just his body language. That's the difference. Body language. Havertz don't show great body language, you know, and that's the difference in attitude and towards everything. If you're not gonna have a great game, at least show some intention. I'd say, you know.
Igal. Yesterday with Daz, we were. I was trying to ask him, like, in my opinion, and I want your opinion, because he seems very like he's invested in Havertz stocks, right? And that he's not, even though he admitted who your best 3 is, he's kind of still like, we stick with Havertz. Havertz has, am I right? Havertz has started your first 2 friendlies.
No, he came off the bench against MLS All Stars.
So who started your first one?
It was Trossard.
Right. So cool. That's fine. Do you not think that this preseason, like, you should be starting from now? Would you like to see Smith Rowe starting?
I don't think Smith Rowe is looked at as at this moment in time as a left 8. I think he's still looked at as a left winger.
Left winger.
Yeah, that's where
he played that. He thrived actually 2 seasons.
No,
ago, he thrived.
I know he's played left wing before, but the reports coming out last season that Mikel's teaching him the Xhaka role.
Yeah, that is true. But at this moment in time, we haven't seen him play in that position too much.
No, but perfect. So would you not like to see
Havertz and Trossard play there?
Right. So would you, so that's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you opinion, right?
Yeah.
Would you like to see Smith Rowe in these friendlies before the season starts? Because you've got to remember, Smith Rowe didn't come in at the back end of last season because you can't just bring a player in like that. Look, we're in a title race. We're not just going to start playing Smith Rowe. So that's what I'm saying. Would you not like to see him try and start embedding Smith Rowe into this team? Or would you rather see him try and embed Havertz into this team?
I think that's what they're trying to do, because in the second half, you've seen Trossard and him kind of rotating from left wing to left mid.
Quite late on. It was quite late on in the first half.
I understand, but it was kind of more or less the better part of the game where it was like a lot more attacking and a lot more control of the game. So I think he's trying a lot of different players in that position. We're going to have to wait and see, but he has made it clear that Emil Smith Rowe will be a plan to move into that position eventually. But right now, they're just trying to figure out what position everyone can play. And I think Trossard hasn't really gotten an opportunity to play in that position yet, where Smith Rowe has. So he's testing out Trossard right now more than Smith Rowe, because he kind of knows Smith Rowe's ability.
Yeah, do you know what it is? Yeah, I get he's doing it for that. And that does make sense because he's got to work out who can play where. But for me, right, Smith Rowe definitely needs. I mean, you know what? To be fair, Smith Rowe's just played in the England under-21, so maybe he's thinking I'll give him a bit of a rest because he has been playing a lot of game time. I just think Smith Rowe didn't get a chance last year. He's back. There's all this, like, his ceiling's really high, and I feel that if you go into the season and again he hasn't really been utilised that much in pre-season, it's like, how's he going to make his stamp his place on this team if he's not given? And look, I think now seeing his size, seeing how, based on his size, I think he could be very physical now. Yeah, I don't think Havertz can be physical at all.
Can't be from South London, not be physical. That's
the guy is featherweight, man.
And in that eight role, that's the one thing that Xhaka was very good at, being physical. And so,
this is what I'm saying. Yeah, I know it's preseason, but one thing that Cass just said, right, is Mainu, 18 years old, he showed something. Even the first game that I watched, yeah, he showed something. When I go back to Arsenal's first game, when what's his name, the 16-year-old kid that you've got, when Anari that came on, yeah, he showed me something. You get it? He was trying to get on the ball, driving, even physically. The guy's 16 and he looks more built than Havertz. And even in that game, Havertz was poor. The same thing happened again yesterday, where he's just not getting on the ball. Everyone's saying, oh, he has to understand the system, he has to understand that. But when you actually play the game, right, it is not hard to show something on the ball. Call for the ball, demand the ball, try to show a little something that you're actually trying. Havertz was a ghost all game, and yesterday was a good tester because it's up against United, who are one of your rivals. Okay, this is a Premier League opposition that you're playing. This is not MLS All Stars. This is actually a midfield that you're going to come up against very soon into your season, by the way, as well. So yesterday was a good way to actually judge this guy, because I've been seeing him for 3 years. It's not 2 games for me. This is a continuation of what I've been seeing at Chelsea. But you guys did not want to hear it when I was telling you about the attributes that Havertz has got. I told you this guy's not a left centre mid. Now all of a sudden your whole fan base can see it. We told you. You get it? Now you're going to feel pain. The pain that we felt for 3 years. You're going to feel pain.
You also told me earlier that Sterling, when he's around better quality players, we're going to see him shine a little bit more. And I'm telling you the exact same thing back to you. Raheem, if that works with Raheem Sterling, it also works with Kai Havertz. With better players around him, more technically gifted players around him, you're going to see him not have as much pressure. You're going to see him not have as much to deal with. And also, let's not act like he's been playing with these guys for a long time.
Yeah, just to go back to that point. Sorry, just before you finish.
Let's not act like he's been playing in this role for a long time. It takes a while to get used to playing in a different position that you haven't played in over a year. Like Mikel Arteta has to get some of his bad habits out of his system, and he has to get some of those good habits back into his system.
That's fine, but let's break him down. Let's break him down as an individual. Igal, you told me what attributes Havertz has to be successful in that role.
Bro, I told you his ability to get into the box late and his ability in the attacking end. It's not all about his defensive ability. He needs to improve his positioning outside of possession. He's good at making runs off the ball also. So most of his attributes that he's going to bring in that area are more of somebody in the attacking 10 role and less of an.
So basically, nothing on the ball. Everything's all off the ball. Is what you're saying then?
Bro, I haven't watched him enough yet at Arsenal to tell you this is what he's going to bring to everything. You can critique him better than me.
So can I just say, you've just compared him to Sterling and said, look, the same way that you said you put Sterling around some better players, he's going to shine. The same can be said about Havertz. I think that's a bit of a reach because the truth is, let me finish and I'll tell you. So the reason why I say I think it's a bit of a reach is because with Sterling, we literally have 4 or 5 years of an example to go to at Manchester City, round better players. That's what did. If you can show me 4 or 5 years of Havertz doing that round better players, please tell me now.
I don't have that example. All I can go back to is glimpses of Chelsea at Chelsea, and I can go back to Leverkusen. I get that the comparison might not be exactly accurate, but I'm more or less talking about the premise of the point. But around better players, around quality, you can see a better player, and he doesn't have to have as much pressure. He doesn't have to have as much pressure on him. And yes, we are invested in Kai Havertz doing well, but it's not necessarily only in one position. He can do it in. I've always said.
Let me just break this down a little bit.
I want to clarify something.
One position.
I want to clarify. What do you mean he doesn't have a lot of pressure? You have to win something.
Okay, 1 second. Let me reiterate.
And he is not, your second 65 million is a lot of money for him. So how is that not a pressure?
Okay, let me reiterate what I mean. He doesn't have the pressure of being the main goal scorer. He doesn't have the pressure of being the main creator. He doesn't have the pressure to be the main defensive cog in the midfield. He's a part of a team where he doesn't have.
So he's just a passenger there. That's he
is. Let's be honest. He's not even the third best player in our squad. Yeah, where at Chelsea, he was dependent on as one of their main goal scorers, as one of their main outlets for the attack. More pressure was on him at Chelsea to deliver because he was one of their better players.
That is a politician answer right there. You're not saying anything.
No, I am not saying anything. Yes,
you're not saying nothing though. You're not saying nothing.
Yes, there's pressure on the squad, but him as an individual is not as much pressure at Arsenal, where he is a lesser role than he did at Chelsea. If you have a lesser role, you don't have as much pressure as when you're one of the main men.
What do you mean? So basically, what you're basically saying is...
You think that the 8 is a lesser role than a striker? You think the defender is a lesser role than a right back?
What does that mean? He has to be the talisman at Chelsea. He had to be one of the main goal scorers at Chelsea. At Arsenal, he doesn't have to do any of that. He doesn't have to be the highest assist getter. He doesn't have to be the highest.
No, he didn't. They had Lukaku at some point. No, he didn't at Chelsea.
He just has to do his
job.
They
had Timo Werner. They had Mason Mount. No, he didn't.
Bro, what's your point? What's your point? I don't get it.
At Chelsea, Kai Havertz had to be the guy. At Arsenal, Kai Havertz just has to be one of the guys that can deliver a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
I think it's valid because of the system. What I would say is I kind of agree with the gal that the difference is at Chelsea, because there wasn't in his time at Chelsea, you probably couldn't really say there was much of a system. Let's just say that compared to at Arsenal right now, there's most definitely a system, and everyone says it. Look. Everyone else says it about City.
Acting like Kai Havertz coming into our team.
I do get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. But hold on, Igal. The one thing. So I think you're right. I think the system side of things, that it's a point where you're becoming part of a machine now, right? And you just have to be part of a machine. But I would say the pressure of Arsenal's fan base compared to Chelsea's fan base is mad, right? The fact that he is a Chelsea player going to Arsenal puts added pressure on him because it's kind of a long list of players that have kind of come from Chelsea and not done so well. And the fact that this season, there is pressure on Arsenal that if he's a regular starter and he is not performing, the spotlight is going to be on him, right?
No, but guess what? You're right.
I don't think he'll be a regular.
1 second. So. Nothing can stop the spotlight, but forget about the spotlight for a second. Mason Mount, Kovacic at Chelsea, if they don't tick, they don't win games. At Man City, Manchester United, at Arsenal, if our signings from Chelsea don't necessarily tick, we can still win games because they're not dependent on as the key player in that said position. There's also other players that can pick up the slack. Where at Chelsea, they were so heavily dependent on these underperforming players that you can clearly see all their faults. You take a player from Chelsea that was underperforming. You put him in a squad that's much better, you're going to see better from that player.
Yeah,
Let me just.
Sorry, I want to move to United a little bit for the last like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
But all I'm hearing, Igal, is that basically you're saying Havertz isn't good enough. We have another 11 players better than him. If he plays well, it's okay. If he doesn't, who cares?
It don't matter.
No, I'm saying Kovacic is not the best player at Manchester City, so people are not going to be looking at him and saying he's the best player at City. There's pressure on him. Same way with Havertz.
I get the point. I get the point that you're making. But I'm sorry.
All of a
when
sudden,
it comes
every
to
player shit if they don't perform well. One game.
No. But Igal, let's not forget. Yeah, we've spoken multiple times. We've been on multiple streams. You've told me that you want to win the league next season. Yeah. And what I said when you lot were linked to Kai Havertz and when it was looking like you were going to buy him, I said Arsenal do not have a single passenger in their team. As much as there's a bit of a divide in your fan base between Xhaka and whether he's good or not, whether he'll elevate you guys, Xhaka was effective in that left centre mid role. Do you know what I mean? From Wenger days when you guys used to beg for him to get pushed forward, like the role that he plays for his country, when he actually played there, he was actually all right. For me, I don't rate Xhaka. But when I saw him last season, I said, do you know what? He's actually quite good in that role, quite effective. He's a better option as a left centre mid than Kai Havertz. Now, last season, you finished second. Now, going into this season, you're trying to win the league. So you can't have a player like Kai Havertz, who you're basically describing to be a passenger. You're like, oh, well, he's not the best. He's not going to be the main man. It doesn't really matter if he doesn't really do much. We're just expecting maybe a 6 out of 10 some weeks. Bro, you're in a position now where you're trying to win the league. You spent 65 million on this guy. You're giving him over 200k a week wages. You can't try to tell me that 6 out of 10 is okay for Kai Havertz. He has to go in there and actually be better than Xhaka last season. He has to be better than him. And what you're saying right now is basically giving him a pass. I don't know what pass you're giving him, but it's a bit mad to me how you're just kind of letting him just get off scot-free.
Bro, I'm not going to overreact and go crazy over a preseason game and say, oh, Kai Havertz just proved that he can't do anything in the midfield. Listen, they played 55 minutes together for the first time. Martin Odegaard, Kai Havertz, and Declan Rice. I'm
not talking about just this game. I'm talking about his role going forward. You're describing what he's been brought into.
I get that.
Hold on. We need to move on. I
think what we're doing is an overanalyzation. This squad is still good enough to compete for the league, I believe. This squad has gotten better. This squad has gotten better. Yes, losing Granit Xhaka is a big blow. And the fact is, we replaced his leadership with Declan Rice. We've tried to replace his quality with two players of good quality in Kai Havertz and Declan Rice. And our midfield has gotten stronger. Don't forget, we also still have Jorginho in the squad. We still have other players who can play in this team. So it's not a situation where we have a dead midfield. Our midfield is better than last season.
Before we do that,
last season, it's just it might not be functioning the same way as last season, and that's evolving your game.
Right, we need to move on to United.
So before we do that, just last thing from Wyatt, super chat from Wyatt. Thank you so much for the super chat. He said, I'm sorry, Gal, but when non-key player, according to you, become a top 3 midfield, also Daps, why do you defend Arsenal so much? Is that Arteta bias?
Well,
it's the last thing about Arsenal, guys.
Well, so quickly, I'll take that all day long. Someone has just said that I defend Arsenal. I'm glad that someone is saying that, because the opinion is that I absolutely hate Arsenal. So why, if you watch me consistently, you'll see that I do pick pieces at Arsenal, but I also think I will defend a team that challenged for the league last season, in my opinion, have got better, right? That's all. Don't get me wrong. If you watch us regularly, you'll see that I also slander Arsenal a hell of a lot. So,
okay.
You know, move on to the other thing. We move on. No. So
let me just say one thing and I'm done. Wallahi. Our midfield was poor yesterday. This whole thing that we're talking about is actually ridiculous, because yes, the midfield was poor yesterday, but it's one preseason game. Let's not overreact.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see the next preseason game. There's another team that played yesterday that was third last year, but I don't know. I want to ask Cass, why is everybody dismissing Man United? Why?
I don't know, man. Mason Mount magic, innit? What can I say? I don't know, man. You know what? I think preseason does matter right now, because I'm now looking at Jadon Sancho thinking potentially he could be warranting a chance, rather than me thinking he should just get sold and moved on. I'm not being funny. Anthony should apply for Saudi League 3. Like, he might actually get a decent move. You know what I mean? So, I just think like his place is in trouble. He needs to perform, because yesterday he's missed another clear-cut chance for me, which was at the edge of the box. And he's put anywhere, left, right. It don't really matter. You smash it down the middle pretty much. Or no, he didn't. Did he scruff it? He scruffed it.
Yeah, he scruffed it. That
was a chance against Leon that he hit straight at the keeper. So I'm looking at Jadon Sancho, looks fit and ready. and you know, just
that burst of pace.
that's
Boy,
what I'm saying, man. He gave Gabriel a hard time, man. I'm not saying this is unfit Gabriel. Gabriel's been playing as well as much as him, and if not more and more minutes, because you know, unlike your manager, my manager switches up the whole 11. Your manager wants to be shameless and keep them on. So the way I look at it is just that Jadon Sancho might warrant a chance, and he's playing down the middle, and he just looks trim. This whole Casemiro looking fat thing, like, bro, like, come on, man.
He looks so skinny. He looked skinny actually when he came up.
Yeah,
Casemiro's wham. I don't know if you guys saw the picture of him after when he was like flexing like that. He's
Yeah, no, he's
He looks so fit.
got chipmunk face. He's got to look big, innit? He's got a little bit chubby and all that kind of stuff. That's it. But I can't lie, the pictures were funny. The pictures were funny. They were very
huge.
You see the Rashford one as well.
I'm just gonna say, I think the way I look at it is off the ball, we suffocated you without even a Nana. That's the best part. So you have to look at tactics.
Why
Like
Why are you laughing?
Yeah, like Leon game and all that. It suffocated them.
Why
And
is he laughing?
what do you mean?
Cass,
Why is he laughing?
What was the? You know, I need to. Cass, I'm gonna send you some of the predictions that they had the other day, like Gunnar Souls and that them lot the other day. They were saying 7-0 and that.
His head is washed. Like, let's be honest, I have to mute the guy. Like, sorry, Souls, you're a nice guy. You know, I always WhatsApp you and stuff, but on Twitter I have to mute you because you're shameless beyond my part of shameless. You know, there's being shameless, and then there's like beyond to the point where you believe it. You know, so
for me, right, I've watched United's the second half of their previous friendly in this one, and the first half in particular. I actually have been quite surprised at the football United have been playing. I think they're moving the ball about a lot nicer at pace. But the thing I'd take from yesterday is it is a friendly. Let me be clear. I still think Arsenal will challenge next season. But Arsenal beat Chelsea 4-0 last year, right? When no one thought Arsenal were going to be in a friendly. No one thought Arsenal were going to be doing anything last season at that point, pre-season. And it was the hunger for me that in that game against Chelsea this time last year, Arsenal just looked hungry. They looked like a team that, as a unit, wanted to go out and prove everyone that, you know, we're not the third best team in London. We're back as the first best team in London, right? And yesterday, I just feel like Man United wanted it more. They wanted it more. And, you know, it isn't the season yet. And look, my club, you often don't want it till March. So I'm not here saying that's going to tell us how the season goes. But going into this season, why have Arsenal hunger seemed to have disappeared when they didn't eat much? So why are they not hungry anymore? Like,
Facts.
I'm not going back to Arsenal. I don't want to go back to
No. But all right. So let's stay on this. Man United. That's a very valid point. Do Man United look hungry? Like, because the team, I think United look good. I think United have looked good so far this pre-season. Being honest with you. But I'm
reaching the two finals, winning the Carabao Cup and losing to Man City in that fashion and having De Gea there and all what he did. I think Man United players believe in the system, believe in the manager. This is what I think. Why are you laughing, Igal? Why you have this why is that?
No, I'm okay. I just want to hear what you guys got to say. Continue speaking. I'm not. Don't mind me.
Now, what's your thoughts on United? Actually, to be fair,
I thought United played well. I thought they could have easily scored 3 or 4 past us. And it's unfortunate that two of the goals that they did score came from errors, because I felt like they had some good opportunities before the errors came where they could have scored also. And their midfield, their attack, they were just more physical than us, and they took their chances. They were more clinical than us, and they finished us off. And it was unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but we have to take this lesson, and we have to go into the season and be more prepared for physical battles, because we didn't have any physicality in the first 2. Actually, the MLS All-Stars game was kind of physical, but we were battering them, so it didn't really matter. But this game right here, I don't know what we were doing. And also, we learned something about Arteta. Why didn't Balogun get a chance? What is he doing? What is his plans with the midfield? Because he showed us a couple different changes in the midfield with Trossard there and everything else. I'm not questioning the manager. I'm just saying things.
What did we learn about Ten Hag?
What we learned about Manchester United, in my opinion, was that they're gonna have that physicality in every game. That's gonna still be part of their game, even though they try to go play more attacking. Their press was on point. You could say that they're more on it from the jump, because we did look off it. But I do think Manchester United going into the season were always going to be somewhat decent, and they were going to get better. I just don't know if they're of the level of challenging for the league, because some of the overreactions I'm seeing for Arsenal side on the negative side, I'm seeing the positive from Manchester United side. I'm seeing people saying this Maino kid, he did play well, but I personally wasn't keeping an eye on him the whole time. What I'm going to say is, do you guys think he's going to be playing a big part of your season next season?
No,
he's not. Wait. I still think you know the quotes.
I still think he's going to be like a young academy player who's not going to get much opportunity next season, even though he did play.
I think he will. I think he will, to be honest.
One sec. This is where you're all wrong, and Mo is just deluded as per usual because he don't actually read quotes on Man United and just gives his opinion for the sake of it. He was actually in our whole set. He's not an academy product no more. He was in our first team setup for the whole of last season. Yes, training, and got a few minutes in the Carabaos and all that kind of stuff. Come off the bench a couple of times. Go watch it, Leicester, and all that kind of stuff. This season, Ten Hag said he's not going nowhere. He's staying back in the first team setup. He will get more minutes, and he can play 6 or 8. It don't even matter. That's the best part about it.
I think the other thing the other thing is with pre-seasons is the chance, like, it's where a lot of players should get a chance. This is where academy players can get and fringe players get a chance, right? And it's what you do with that chance, right? Dele Alli is a perfect example at Tottenham. That Dele Alli got a chance in a pre-season at Tottenham, and he took that chance and he performed to a level that made Pochettino go, yo, you're staying round. You're not going back on loan anyway. You're staying at Tottenham and you're becoming a starter. And looking at my guy for United, if he keeps putting in performances like that through the rest of pre-season, then 100% he'll get minutes. Like, he just played against Arsenal. This wasn't against Wrexham. This was against Arsenal, yeah, and he put in a good performance. Ten Hag's not going to ignore that and go, irrelevant to that, I'm just going to put him back with, like, so he will. If he keeps performing like this, 100% it'll feature. Otherwise,
a big part of why United had control yesterday was because of him. Do you know what I mean? He's very comfortable in the ball, very press resistant. He was helping them with their build up time and time again. Remember that little where he got the ball.
Love.
In a bit.
Jump off.
Cool, love. I think at one point, he got the ball from the back 4 and he done like a little lob to was it Anthony that was running on the wing? He kind of like chipped it over.
Sancho.
Sancho. Yeah. He like chipped it over. So yeah, no, I think it's good, man. I think he's a good player. Definitely, I think he should definitely get a lot of opportunities in the coming season. I think he's definitely built for it, 100%.
I agree. But yeah, man, I don't think there's much more to really even go off. Big up anyone that's actually in here. Made a little video. Can I share it, Gal?
Yeah.
Man United
just thrashed a poor
Arsenal
side today, 4-0 in Orlando.
Bruno Fernandes,
one of the guys to get on the goal sheet once again.
The Butcher,
showing that he's pure class and potentially a generational talent.
Jadon Sancho
getting on the score sheet, doing what star boys do, and celebrating in style. Also,
Kobe Mainoo
debut, and this guy, the technical ability, oozing sauce. My man,
Kobe Mainoo,
already showing that he's quality with just a couple key passes in the game. And
Jadon Sancho,
number 9 things. My man is clinical. Chip
Scamsdale
with the opening goal. Overall, we won the game 4-0. And you know what? There's more positive than negative. But today, I can't even pick a man of the match. You guys let me know who it was. Undefeated in the preseason still, and just showing levels. Preseason trophy in the bag. Not getting too excited, but I'm ready for the new season.
That was sick.
No, that's funny. Did you post that on Twitter?
That was funny.
Yeah, I only on it for about 10 minutes though, because I didn't want it to run a little bit, you know.
That was good, man.
That's a bit.